All right, we are in a game again, and let me get this set up. Gonna go with my. I actually should go with a Tenjin start and see if I can win with a Tenjin start. I don't like giving up three corners, but I as white you have to give up three corners to get the Tengen start, and I really don't like it. But it would pose a bit of a challenge for me. I as white you have to give definitely would pose a bit of a challenge for me doing the Tengen start. So here we go. Okay, we have that. So we are going to actually lower approach. I was thinking about the upper approach. It's a bit of a strange move. Giving me the corner, definitely. Maybe I should have gone here, but I don't. Yeah, if I went here, I guess he would have to. I think this is how I play. I'm not. I probably did that. I think I probably did that wrong. I most likely did that wrong. Definitely most likely did that wrong. I think this is okay, though. This isn't giving up too much. This is a little different than what I did here because I have this stone here. Oh, actually, no, I definitely did that wrong. I can't really play the... Uh, Probably shouldn't have done that. I mean, he can't kill me here. I don't think. I mean, he might be able to now. I'm not really sure about that move. I'm gonna go ahead and take this. I think this is really big, actually. Like, this is actually a lot of territory. This is not that much because I still have this. I still have this here. I'm actually just gonna do this. I mean, there's still invasion points for me on his territory. And like I said, like there's still this jump here, so this side isn't solidified. I'll take the bottom. That's definitely not worth it because I don't think that's worth it. I really don't think that's worth it. I'm not going to answer him one for one, definitely. It's kind of a strange game, though. I mean, I'm definitely willing to do this because there's no territory down here. He owes to actually make this territory. He owes me another move. I don't understand this move. I mean, if you have to realize that you just sacrificed pretty much this entire side. Like, and you're really not getting much from this because this side's still dead. Like, this side is still really open to my attack. It's one of those things I feel like you're just sacrificing way too much for what you get. I technically don't really have to answer this. I think I will, though. I probably didn't play this right. I most likely didn't play this right. But I mean, he's already given me like the entire side thing. I don't care about that. This is disastrous for him. He definitely like I played bad here. He definitely should have just like covered this. This is pretty much a disaster for him. He can't kill that group down there. And he's kind of stuck now. I'm going to take this first. Because there's really nothing he can do about this. I do have to do that, though. He's not alive here. This is plainly like not recognizing what you can and can't do. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are actually good moves that he could actually do here, but he's kind of trapped himself right now. Guys, please hit the likes. That would actually help me out a lot. Kill this eye first. I don't act. No, I actually don't think 9.9 9 times 9 skills and 13 skills translate well into 19 times 19. I definitely do. I definitely don't think they do. You have to realize I don't really care because as long as I kill this, I'm gonna win. Like, there's no way you're gonna have enough territory no matter what you do at this point. That's also a mistake because this is much bigger than any of those moves. Like, the thing is, like, I might not get too much territory down here, but I've already solidified a lot of my territory here. And now I can just go back and kind of like fix this. kind of like solidify this territory. That was probably the wrong move, honestly, but still. Like, there's no way you're going to get enough territory because I just killed all of this. So, like, I actually do think, like, when I actually did this, the game actually kind of favored him almost. Because I definitely made a mistake there. I made kind of a mistake there, definitely. So you actually Atari this way here. You don't Atari the other way. Then you just take this because he can't really do anything. You just play the safe move. You don't like you don't really Atari the other way. Well that's fine. I'm just gonna do this. I have secured myself most of the territory, so I don't really care. Um, he can't really do anything like this. He can't really do anything with this. I did screw up there, but he can't really do anything with this. Okay, I'm going to do this first. Because I can actually cut here. I made a lot of mistakes this game, because this is a really unusual game for me. But, the thing is, he shouldn't have taken those two. He should have just connected these two down here. That was a much better play for him. He just, like, yeah, this is not going to work well. Tari. Do this. I mean, look at all the territory I have now. There's no way he's going to get enough. There's absolutely no way he's going to get enough. That's also really bad. I think this is dead now. I think this group in here is dead. Maybe not, but I don't really need to kill it, honestly. I realistically don't need to kill that group. I'm not going to try to kill it. I'm just going to do this. If he doesn't answer me, he's probably dead. But he needs to answer, and that's like Gote for him. You know what? I should probably just do this. I've won already, so I'm just going to protect this group. This is actually alive now, but who cares? No, no, yeah, smaller board games generally don't translate that well to larger board games. That's just not how this works for the most part. Because they're completely different games. They are absolutely completely different games altogether. Not really sure what he's trying to do. Well, he's trying to like get that territory there, but the territory is not really all that relevant. I can let him have all of this. That doesn't really matter. I think this is bigger. I'll let him have the 4. It's not the 4 is not actually a big deal. Oh wait, no, I definitely messed up there. I can't do that. Whoops. Yeah, that's a big foobar by me. That's me just getting really careless. Just gonna go ahead and do this, and that's me getting really careless and forgetting some stuff. Why would he do that though? You know what? I want to do this. But I think I'm just going to take this stone right now. He did get all his territory, and that's fine, but I have way more. I got really careless there. Just going to make sure I kill all of this. I don't do that. That was just me getting extremely careless. The reason that why 9 times 9 doesn't translate well into 19 times 19 is that like you don't really have to think about what happens in other parts of the board when you're playing 9 times 9. When you're actually playing 19 times 19, like you have to think about what happens a lot on like all across the board. That's just not going to work. Eventually, I am just going to do this. I don't really have to, but eventually I am just to make sure there are no errors on my part. Because I tend to make a lot of errors. And errors are no good. So I did think I definitely played this influence wrong, and um, that doesn't matter. I just have to. I already have one eye here, so I don't think he can actually beat me. He's one liberty short. I can just easily connect this, and he can't do anything. This is irrelevant. This is completely irrelevant because he can't fill this liberty. And actually, I didn't even have to answer that, but I did anyways. No, that's not Sente, so... Oh, that was bigger. That was my mistake. I'm going to go ahead and do this, I think. Tari, and then I'm going to connect my own thing here. He does have to answer that, by the way, is whether he uses that ko or not. I don't really feel like fighting this ko. Half a point is not going to determine the game. Don't think there's any more on the board.
Pass.
He can't fill in this liberty.
Remove
So.
the dead stones.
Yeah, I made a really big mistake here.
You have won.
I actually made a really big mistake here. So let's actually go back and review this game. It's an interesting game because like it was pretty close until fairly late. I'm not exactly sure how I should play this. So let's actually go back to the beginning. I'm sure I made some problems there. So I guess I should have just like approached here, and just left this alone. But I did this. He does this. I guess this was a better move. I would never do a move like that, but I just went ahead and double Haned. He connected. He should have actually done this with a connection, and that should have been the sequence. But this isn't too damaging. He does this, and of course I'm going to do this. This is going to be better than this connect or this connect. So when you have this kind of formation in the corner, always do that. Then he does that, which is fine. I'm going to do this. I guess the biggest move was actually this, but this is pretty equal. So I do this. He does this. Should have done the far pincer, but I did the close pincer. That's fine. That's kind of a weird move. Yeah, this is going to be the best move in this case, pretty much always. Either this or at least this. This is not too bad, but it does give me a slight advantage. So, I did do this. He does this. I'm going to... Okay, that's actually a bad move. I mean, I guess I should have just taken this, but I didn't want this to happen. But yeah, I'll remember that for next time. It's definitely like taking this stone is definitely the right move. So I did something wrong here. He does that. I'm going to take the... I'm going to peep first. He does this. I'm going to do that. He connects, and then I'm going to take this. Yeah, this is definitely the right move. but he's going to do that first. I'm just going to take this. I actually believe this is pretty big. He does have this move here that he can do right away. And this is probably the best time to actually do this move. Force me to do this and then invade this way. You can see here that like if he actually does this, yes, he's giving me this territory, but at the same time, like he's forcing me into very little territory, while he's actually breaking my shape over here. So that's why this move is so good right now. So at this point, black is actually ahead by a little bit. He does that. This is going to be the biggest move. This actually isn't very big right now because this move is like, if you do this, like I can just jump here and there's not that much territory down here. I can jump here later. So first of all, doing this is pretty flat. There's not a huge amount of points and you still owe a move right here. This is by far the biggest move because it increases my moyo here and it reduces his moyo here. So I kind of missed that. But this is also pretty big because it kind of solidifies my bottom territory. That is not a great move. I think it's too blank up here. It is something the AI would do, but I think it's too blank up here for you to actually do this. Trading this with this, it solidifies me even more. And obviously, like at this point, this is by far going to be the biggest move because it increases your moyo by so much and it flattens mine. So like this is going to be like the contested move here for a while, which none of us make. That I'm going to block this way. You doing this and then letting me do this is going to squash in my favor because think about it, like if you just did this, like there's so much influence here that you can actually make. And this isn't that big of a deal. There's like, I mean, I might do that, but at the same time, there's still a lot of invasion opportunity down here. Like trading this for this, I basically have flattened out your shape and that's worth a lot. This is definitely a bad trade for black. Remember, like, I know you're trying to solidify this down here, but because I have this jump, there's actually no potential down here. Unless you do this move first, there's no potential down here. So trading that for that is a bad idea. Going there, I'm going to cap overhead. This, they say, is the best move because it solidifies my territory, but I want to attack black, so I just go up here. That doesn't make that much sense at all. Yeah, this is actually a big problem for me if you do this first right now. Because like I actually have to live this group and that gives you some stuff that gives you like opportunities down here. So and if, obviously if I ignore you and do something like this, you can actually play like this and threaten my group in the corner. So this is going to be the best move here, and that's why like when he invades here, like this is the best move because it solidifies white. But I'm gonna do this overhead. Then I'm gonna do that to try to poke away the eye space. That's not a good move. That move doesn't make any sense. It makes me stronger on the outside, and it doesn't give you any eye space. That really doesn't make any sense at all. I should have actually done this and sacrificed this, I guess, but I just went back here. And here's the thing, like, yes, you did get some influence up here, but you basically sacrificed all these stones down here already. So the influence you gained up here, and plus like this has so many holes in it, it's just not worth the amount of territory that you sacrificed down here. Going here, basically letting me come out. I know you're really desperately trying to get this territory here, but I can always just do this. Like I can just jump over here and just completely lessen out your territory. So there's not too much for you here. So you go back. I'm going to Hane this up here. You see I'm like slowly taking the lead now because I'm basically decreasing his moyo at no cost to me. Double Hane out. That's fine. This is a bad sequence by me. This is a very bad sequence by me. This, you always do this. You absolutely always do this. And then, you know, like black might do something like that. Just do this, and like you basically solidified, white solidified, but black solidified as well. So obviously, like when I do this, like this is a very, very bad move because like you're not going to be like, if I get this, your group is in danger. You're not going to be able to kill my group. And this group down here, because I made Q18, which is why Q18 is a much better move than like Q17 or R18. This group is not really under, this group is, hey, mounts up. This group is really not under threat. So you do this, I come out. Um, like this move is always here, and this move is always really big because there's still a lot of Aji down here if you actually do this. But I guess like neither of us did that. But like you come out here, and I basically can do this. Now you have to, black has to connect, and then white can go down here. This is probably the biggest because it does actually separate this out, and now it does sort of like threaten down here. But the thing is, like, this separating this black group is definitely not good for black. Doing that, I'm going to Atari here. That move doesn't make any sense to me. I should have done this, but that move doesn't make any sense to me. Or I should have just blocked, actually. That was the best move by me. But I took this. But see, like, me taking this is actually a bad move for white because this is actually Sente right now. I don't want to sacrifice these stones. That's actually Sente, so I go on the bottom here. And yeah, you should actually go here because now like your group is safe and my group out here is actually in trouble. So I made a lot of mistakes here. This is really big because it saves black's group. It saves black's group, and it also kind of like it makes white very weak out here, and white actually has to live because white's actually disconnected. There's a lot of black thickness. If you do this, like there's a lot of black thickness out here, and it's kind of hard for white, and you can actually use the black weakness here to actually solidify your territory down here. So that's why this is big. You do this. I'm going to Hane on the bottom. That's a pretty bad move. That's a pretty bad move. It tightens your liberties, and that actually mattered later. And you should still actually do this, because if you do this, like, white is still very, very weak out here. But, of course, if you do this, like, you do this move, and since this group is actually not under threat anymore, I'm going to go ahead and block down here. Because this is, like, really, really huge. This basically ensures my group, and it puts your group in a lot of danger. You do this, I'm going to connect. That's a very bad move. Like, this is a better move, because at least you can break some of my territory over here. I do actually think white wins this overall fight here, but at the same time, like, at least you can actually get something over here. So doing this, letting me go down here, is essentially like sacrificing this group. And if you sacrifice this group, there's really no way you can win without getting like a lot of advantages. So the thing is, like, at this point, you're already kind of like dead. You're already kind of dead. So this move isn't really that big. I feel like I would just go ahead and do this. I cut this off, force white to actually like do something down here. And then, like, you know, try to get all this territory to counterbalance. I mean, you're still going to lose because eventually I'm going to do something like this and then just jump out here. But the thing is, like, at least you get much, much more territory here. Like, cutting off this stone is pretty critical. So right now, like, spending an extra move to actually do this, I guess, like, if you actually see this, because this does actually cause problems for white. If you actually see this kind of move down here, then it's okay. But since neither of us did that, I'm assuming black didn't see this down here. So letting white actually get this fixes a lot of white's problems. He does this, and then I'm going to go ahead and fix this corner here. You do this, I'm going to do this. Yeah, this is definitely the right move. I completely forgot about that. This is actually okay. And I definitely should have actually done this. But I lost some points here. And essentially, I made a mistake there. He definitely made a mistake here. You should definitely connect this. I can't really do anything. And then white would probably do something like that. White would probably... when I do this, I probably would have connected if I was black. Because I still can't extend. Yeah, I really don't quite agree with this, because that actually gives me the bottom territory, but the AI says it's pretty good. I mean, there is still the possibility of something down here. There's still the possibility of something down here. I guess because white has to live this, there's the possibility of something down here, I guess. But to me, you just gave me a lot of that territory. You did this. I'm going to come down. Then I'm going to Tiger's Mouth over on this. And this sequence is pretty bad for black because it basically forces you to live. And of course, I finally get that move, which like solidifies pretty much everything. So I'm ahead by about 60 points now. So like this move was the one that we both didn't make, but really like the big mistake was actually in this corner here, because this corner basically decided the game, and it was basically like the basic realization on this corner is like that if you actually make this group live, then you threaten my outer group. So that's why like this is like so important. Like you actually have to like ensure that this group is alive, because then you cut off this group and it's very hard for me to live there. That's okay. This is just a huge mistake by me, by the ways. You could have actually done this and forced me to do something like this, but the thing is like this is just a big like this is actually a huge mistake by me. And yeah, this cut would have been better, but this is like just a massive mistake by me. And obviously, like, I need to connect that. But I just screwed up and, like, I was really careless. I lost a lot of points here. But, I mean, it's not enough for you to get back because I'm still ahead by, like, 30-something points. And because your liberties are so tight here, there's nothing here. Like, if this liberty had been free, there would actually be Aji here, and I would have to play the ko with you. But because all this liberty is tight, because you did this Atari, there's nothing here. So I made like a 30-point blunder down here, but I was ahead by 60, so that was okay. But overall, this game was actually lost on this corner fight here. If it hadn't been for this corner fight, like the game would have been actually really close. And like I said, you just didn't realize that if you actually you didn't realize that if you actually lost this corner, you would actually lose regardless because you just lost too much territory. And B, like if you actually made this corner live, that this group would actually be threatened out here. This was a game full of mistakes from both of us, but eventually I made less mistakes, and that's what caused the game to actually be over. So it was a very interesting game, and I'm going to play another one. I'm actually going to play another one right now. And I hope someone actually accepts it, because I want to play another game today before I sign off. So we will see. We will see. So if you're 6 to 12k and you want to play me, go ahead and accept the game. Oh, there we go. All right, 7q. I will try to not make so many mistakes this time. I got really careless last time. Got very careless in the last game. It's only a matter of time before someone catches me and I lose one of these games. It's definitely only a matter of time before someone catches me and I lose one of these games. Okay. Pretty popular start. I don't think you see professionals do this a lot because it's not as efficient as the corner moves. But, you know, like in terms of like non-professional play like us, it's perfectly fine. Simple Josekis. A lot of people actually mess this Joseki up, but it's a pretty simple Joseki that I actually don't think the trade between that and that's that great. Oh, by the way, if you want to Atari as white, you always Atari S17 and not R16. This is the better Atari. Later on, right now it's you don't do this because there's just no point in that right now. But I will gladly follow along. I'll do this. This time, however, I will extend down here. Just to grab the couple corner points. Because I already have this move. I don't think this is necessary right now. Interesting. That's actually quite interesting. Do I do this? No, I probably don't. Because that actually puts me in a pretty big bind. That actually might be the better play right now. Okay, this is actually an interesting decision to actually make. No, I'm going to extend this way. How do I join? There, I don't really have a group. So I actually don't really have a group. But I mean, I'm just on every day, and I play a couple of teaching games. That's an interesting cut. It's not one I deal with all that often. I don't know if this ladder works. I don't think it does because there's a thing over there. I'm not gonna try it anyways. I'll figure it out later. The thing is, I can completely cut this group off now. But I'm not really sure if I want to do that. Ugh, I don't know if I really don't know if I'm playing this right. I think I might have been better off just Atari and giving him the stone, but then I have a weak group here. I don't think that's the right move for him. I'm just going to extend here. That's very important here. If I force this move, that's perfectly fine with me. Yep, that's what I thought. Eventually force that move. It does actually force me to keep jumping on this, which I don't really like. Now I see why this is better. A lot better. Yeah, doing that is usually not a very good plan for the most part. But I do have this weak group out here, which I am not very thrilled with. I'm not really under threat here. It's gonna be a really strange game, unfortunately. It's gonna be a pretty strange game. I think he might have just killed himself. No, not quite, I guess. This is actually alive, but you had to make it alive like that, which is fine with me. But now I can attack this group. Because I'm not under threat either. That was probably not a great plan of attack, actually. I should have went lower. I should have went higher. It's definitely not a great plan of attack. It's not a good point. Yeah, it's bad. Just connect it. Then he can actually come out. That was a bad point of invasion. Okay. I'll solidify that. I guess he can try to fight the co with me, but it's not something I would actually do. So that doesn't actually kill me. I have two options for eyes. I don't think his group is really under threat in any way, shape, or form. But wait, why would you do that? Like, okay. Now I'm just kind of confused, but I am gonna answer that. I can't let you just have a free move right now. I'll deal with this later. I think that's probably the best move to go. I I don't understand like a lot of his. I don't really understand a lot of his moves in this direction. Because they don't really seem that. I mean, they just don't really seem. They seem really strange to me. You really don't want white hurting this stone down here. Like these are, I feel like these are kind of like Fox server moves that are generally really bad. I feel like these are like Fox type of moves that are generally like super bad, but they don't realize they're really bad. I realistically don't even know how to play this right. Um, this is a strange game. Like these are the type of games that people would actually make on Fox. Which one do I go with? I think this. I'm pretty sure that ladder works. Yeah, that ladder works for me, so he's basically dead. Okay, does it? I mean, even if it doesn't, it's fine, but... Yeah, it works. Pretty sure this works. Yep, it works. Cutting off the 6 and the...
You have won.
All right. Let me go. Could I let you have the top while cutting off the 6 in the center, taking a lot in the top center? I don't think that's actually enough. I don't really know which one you're actually talking about, but I don't think that's actually enough. This is a pretty crazy fighting game, but that's fine. This is basic Joseki. I'm actually not a fan of doing that, but I mean, that's fine as well. Pincer, that's fine. Pincer, I always kind of favor like either doing this first or just doing this first. That's fine though. Gonna extend. Not a huge fan of that move. That one is okay. I actually don't completely know how to answer this one. I mean, I could honestly just go this way, and that wouldn't be too bad. I just didn't really want to. The cut's a pretty good move, by the ways. So yeah, like when he does this, like I figured this was probably the right move. Um, but I didn't really want to create another weak group here. So I played this. So I played this. This is definitely the right move. You actually can't let someone get away with that, because that would actually force me to play down here. And I would have probably just gone this way. And this feels very, very good for black. So when I do this, you have to Hane. That's just one of those shape things. You do this, you let me extend out. So these two stones are cut off right now. That's fine, I guess, at this point. But that's, I mean, like, the thing is, like, you're giving away Sente here. And Sente is, like, critically important here. So I'm going to come up here. He's going to do that. I'm going to jump. He's going to do that again. This makes me kind of strong, and that's where this problem kind of creates. So I'm going to do this. If you're talking about these 6 stones, no, he can't really let me have this. This is too big to let me have. This is way too big to let me have right there. So I'm going to cut. That's generally not a great move. This is going to be better than this. Okay, so this is generally, like in this situation, H18 is going to be better than G18. You put yourself in like Atari here, and that gives me kind of a Sente. He has to live there, so I'm going to do this. I think I should have done this instead, because if I do this, if I actually do this, like if I do this, you have the option of just Atarying here and then coming out. That's actually that was probably the correct move for black here. That's fine, but that's the wrong move. I think that's the wrong move. Letting me actually surround you. Now, you can still go here and you're probably still alive, but letting me surround you, I believe, is the wrong move. So I'm going to Atari this first. There is this move, but I probably don't think you want to play that right now. There is this move. You connect. Then I'm going to extend here and live. That doesn't make any sense. So if you want, that's actually the killing move, right? That honestly, that is a better move. It wouldn't kill me right now, but there's some Aji in it later, maybe. Right now, you can't really kill white. This is alive. So that doesn't make any sense. Realistically, like, this is probably the move I should have done. Just kill this and get it over with. This is a lot of territory here. Even if you get another move here, it doesn't make up for this being dead. So I'm going to do this. So if you want to attack me, you would just approach down here or something. Or possibly kind of like, you know, the thing is, since this stone's already over here, I would favor doing this for black. White doesn't have an extension here. And I don't really know what white does in this point. Like, I would probably, like, jump over or jump up or something like that. But, like, if I do this kind of approach, you already have a stone here. You either pincer me on here, you either pincer me this way, or you just go underneath and come up yourself, get your territory, and not let me have the extension. And then, like, threaten this group later on. That's what black should actually do. This move is not good. That's definitely not good. And on this move, there's a decent chance I could have just done this, honestly. I guess I could have just done this. I don't really want to, but I could have just taken the corner or something like this. But I mean, like, when you do this, I do pretty much. I mean, I could also just do this. There's really, if I did something like that, there's very little way for you to actually answer. I mean, that's not a good result for black. That's really not a good result for black. So this is generally a bad move. That's a really bad move because you can't let white do that. I mean, you basically sacrificed your corner. You did get this, but there's a leak over here, and it's very hard to get the center territory. This is just being too obsessed with the center territory. The center territory is generally pretty hard to get, unless you're the AI and you can play perfectly, which no one can. That's obviously a very bad move. I'm going to extend, and then I'm going to take this Atari first. With this, I feel like you have to do this. Like, that was, like, this, my actual plan was just this. You probably have to do this, and then me getting that. That was my actual plan. And that's probably the way you almost have to play at this point. Because if you extend down here, I'm going to Atari this first, and then extend, and obviously that, I'm pretty sure the ladder works, right? Because I did this, I sometimes suck at calculating ladders, but I'm pretty sure this one works. Yeah, this one works. So you can't actually do that, and that's why the game is kind of over. Because at this point, there's essentially, there's pretty much no coming back from this. You've already, at this point, like, I've already got territory here. You really don't have any territory, and you've sacrificed your middle influence. So there's very little opportunity for black to actually come back. The line on row 13. Oh, sacrificing these 6 stones? Oh, you can't sacrifice these. You cannot sacrifice these. First of all, like, when you have these 6 stones, you're like, it's already really heavy. And you give me so much influence over the bottom territory and the middle. And I doubt you would have been able to kill this anyways down here. So you can't, no, you cannot sacrifice these. These are like really big. These are really big because they make white extremely thick. You can't sacrifice those. And you can't sacrifice this down here. It's too big. There's too many points here for you to sacrifice. So that's why the game actually ends. Because at this point, like, white's solidly ahead, and there's no real chance for black to actually come back from this. So that was the game. Hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell notifications button, and I'll be back.